those of you who still think that the People's Party is a real thing and that's going anywhere.
I just hate when we mention it because I don't like giving him screen time.
Jimmy Dore's running for president of the United States. I had a light up for that one.
But it's I'm having trouble dragging. I'll hold it for you.
Hey, Jimmy,
it's having trouble
you.
Dragging. It's so ridiculous.
That's for you, Jimmy.
Oh my God. Well, it just really goes to show you that party is just a farce. That's not a real thing.
Who is taking this seriously?
They're not. They're just trying to be spoilers. That's the whole point.
No, and again, at least somebody like Jesse Ventura, you can see where people would get excited about him and donate to him. And say,
he was a governor.
Yeah.
Like he actually has held the executive position over
the most common
government.
The most common position that a president holds
is governor.
Overwhelmingly. This is why a lot of people think DeSantis is going to be the next president. Governor, by an overwhelming margin, is the elected position of the person who becomes president of the United States. Senator, yeah, it's happened. Vice president, obviously, but
governors are definitely in a position. I don't hate him as much as people think that we should. No, I just don't.
But again, the only reason why Jimmy would do this and is being propped up by Nick Brana to do this is to make money.
Oh my God, it's such a grift.
Could you imagine Jimmy running for president and just going around and doing his thing and people come out and they give him the money?
Although what scares me is we said that about Trump and then look.
Totally different circumstance.
I know.
Totally different circumstance. Jimmy Dore Donald Trump was known the world over when he ran for president. Some people know who Jimmy Dore is, but nothing at that level.
It's a small echo chamber.
And not the ability to raise hundreds of millions of dollars. But let's say Jimmy does run for president and raises, I don't know, $15, $20 million. That would be really impressive, but that's just a way to make money. That's what it is.
Enough people will jump on that.
And enough to write a book. And they'll make money off writing a book.
But the whole point is it's a grift.
Anybody who would be taking this seriously, and I mean anybody who would be taking Jimmy Dore running for president seriously, yeah, maybe that is why Jimmy would run for president again. Maybe he needs a new house. I don't know. Brandon, I don't know what Jimmy is, but I know he's somebody who only thinks about the bottom line. That's for sure. And just to remind people, because I love bringing this story up anytime Jimmy does something. I
hate even mentioning him. I truly do, because I feel like, why do we even have to acknowledge it? It's so stupid.
This was a big story that came out today that the People's Party are sending out fundraising emails saying, hey, we got to get Jimmy Dore to run for president. Well, let me remind you all that Jimmy Dore came down here at the end of 2019 for a comedy show in Miami.
I think people have heard this story now.
It's been a while since I've told it.
Right,
we got
Peter
some new
loves
people here. And there was a lot of people there. Jimmy's got supporters. He probably had a good 400 people, you'd say, in the room.
And it was like not in our district, but right next to our district. Like a lot of local people. Outside, it was all local people.
The show lasted for 2 hours, and an hour of it was spent bashing Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Which is good. I mean, it's righteous. I have no problem with that righteous anger.
But never once did he mention, and he knew, that Jen Perlman was in the audience, not that far from him, running against Debbie. Did not feel the need to mention that they're in Debbie's territory and that somebody's actually running for Congress. But he did feel the need to announce that Tim Canova was there and to get up and take a bow to the crowd.
It was hilarious. It was these are very self-important people. That's what I think. That was when I knew that the whole thing with Jimmy and that whole thing, that they don't really stand for anything. They don't really mean anything. They just want clicks. He's just angry and belligerent. They don't have desire to really do change. They're just angry and grifting. And I knew that because you come into our town and sit there and talk crap about the person who's the representative here because she does suck. I mean, she sucks. And then don't acknowledge that there's somebody running against her that's on policy with you, on par with everything you believe, and you don't even bring that up. We could have probably scooped up a dozen of volunteers that night. Easy.
Just by Jimmy saying, Jen Perlman running against Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Give her some love.
And then not only didn't he do that, but then he never mentioned us the entire time we were running. He ghosted us. And not only did he ghost us, but then that sort of downplayed to all his little like content creator minions, and they ghosted us.
Yeah.
And that's, that's not somebody who's on the team of progress.
No.
And I knew that then.
You had to know, because again, there's this thing where everyone's thinking, well, Jimmy had it out with the Young Turks, and that must mean that Jimmy's the good guy. In many instances, fellas, there are no good guys.
Oh, I can tell you that very, very clearly. There's a lot of instances where there's no good guys.
So trying to always find, Trump's the good guy because he's fighting against the establishment. How about none of them are good?
They're all bad.
Like,
it's a full bowl of shit, people.
Bernie is great, but Bernie is not willing to go where he needs to go.
No, he's not.
And that's the difference. And you want to call Bernie all kinds of names because
Jesse Ventura would, though.
Jesse Ventura would go.
Like Jesse Ventura on a debate stage with Joe Biden would have absolutely called him out on everything. No doubt in my mind, he would have called him out, whereas Bernie wouldn't do it. And Joe flat out lied.
Radical leftist agenda. No one is debating that Jimmy Dore is not better than the Democratic establishment.
But wait. That's apples and oranges.
Yeah.
Better than in what way? The Democratic establishment is sitting in an electoral political position that's stifling all of us. Jimmy is sitting there screaming to not even be involved with them whatsoever, even though there is no other real venue there. They are not getting a presidential candidate on the ballot in 24. They haven't had ballot access in any state. They've been around for 5 years. How long has it been? We had a show, go back and look at it, where we spoke with somebody who was one of the original volunteers on their camp, on the People's Party movement. And what they did was nothing. They had plenty of time to have candidates.
And let's remember something too. And this is something we could definitely say about Jimmy. He's been very adamant about the fact that he will not platform anybody within the Democratic or Republican Party. Okay, fine. There are countless seats that are nonpartisan, including a very important seat in Los Angeles that just went to an amazing non-corporate activist leader in Ken Mejia. Somebody who ran in the Green Party twice, got the nomination last election cycle against Jimmy Gomez, was very competitive going to the general, and now he's going to be the comptroller of Los Angeles. Why didn't Jimmy ever mention this guy? You want to bring change that's outside the two-party system? This is how you do it. I mean, to me, that to me is everything. City council, county commission,
they really are important.
Mayor, these in many ways, like these two young gentlemen, Sam Cowell and Sam Lawrence, who came on tonight.
How cute were they?
Awesome kids.
Love those boys. I like all these kids that are so into. I love those guys locally. We have young people locally that amaze me.
And again, Maoist, now you're getting into semantics. We understand what you're saying.
I agree.
The system is still corrupt to the core. And if you want to change it, you must elect non-corporate representatives. You must do outside work like mutual aid. You must be willing, as our good friend Jordan Chariton of Status Quo mentioned, you have to be doing economic boycotts. That's how you really get change.
I don't have a problem with conservative people. I don't at all have a problem with conservative people. We've had this discussion many times on the show. We'll have people on. And then we once had somebody say, well, how do you expect to pull them to the left? I don't expect to pull them to the left. I expect to work with them where they are.
Yeah.
That's how things are going to get done, because the reality is we agree with them on most things. Most people in this country agree on the big issues. They do, far and wide, not even close. On economic populism, that is something where, I'm going to work with people that are Trumpers. If they are supporting labor, and they're fighting for unionization, and they're out marching with like your John Deere workers or your coal miners, then I don't care if they're Trump supporters. We're all fighting for labor. This is the problem. And I think it's a bigger problem on the left. So yes, I agree. And I wouldn't say I agree with the whole idea that right-wing populism. It's just a matter of if somebody is socially conservative versus socially liberal, that is really not my concern right now. We're in a dire situation, and all of the working people need to unite against the top people.
Yeah.
That's what a revolution is. That's what needs to happen. And instead, they have us punching left and right and kicking down.
And listen,
we're very distracted.
And listen, I've listened to Jimmy for years, and he still does really great bits His show is entertaining. He does have righteous anger. I have no doubt that most of it is real, but Jimmy's a businessman.
I don't dislike him because of his political or social beliefs. I dislike him because I think he's a grifter.
Jimmy does what he does because he's going to go wherever the most money is to be made.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how people at this point can't see that. And Sam Cedar was right to bring it up. Well, we knew this was coming, that Jimmy was going to try something like this. How could you not see it happening? How could you not see that if Jimmy knows that he can make a few $1 million running for president, why would he not do it?
Which to me makes him be exactly the same as Trump, because basically
Totally the same.
You're a showman and you're doing griftership. I just don't have respect for that. I don't think you're part of the solution. I think you're causing more division than you're worth, and you're profiting on it. So to me, it isn't that he is conservative or not conservative. None of that. I can get along with all sorts of people. I have friends that are pro-life. I can get along with all sorts of people with all different viewpoints. But when you're in it for the reasons that are self-serving and narcissistic, you're not really on my team in terms of the fight that I'm fighting for just the people that are the least of these. That's what I'm about. So if you're not fighting for the least of these and you don't feel a responsibility for collective, and all you're doing is being angry and yelling and just causing more division, we're not on the same page. We're not on the same team. And it doesn't matter whether or not what his personal views are. Like, it's nothing to do with his political views. Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.